Okay, so, however, I will start talking to you, and my nice colleagues here will try to figure out what I ruined, and hopefully can restore the slides. But you all have a slide set that I asked my friends to print for you, and you can have a look at the slide set to start with. So, what are we going to do today? My name is Parissa. I work as a professor at our Faculty of Liberal Arts here. Okay, and I'm a professor of management, which means that I teach people how to work in a company. And this is a very important thing to do. Why do you need to work in a company? Or why do you need to know what to do in a company? Huh? What do you think? Yes, you. Yes? Why is it not important to know how to work in a company? What do you think?
Because we need to manage things.
We need to manage things. Yeah, that's very important. And we want to make sure we manage things properly. Yeah? And with success. Yes. So, let's start again. Finally, we figured out all the issues. Okay. So today we will have a look at what the company is doing and what managers are doing. And also talk about the question why we actually need to learn about this. Why is it so important that you in university take some management classes? So here's some information about me. My name is Parissa. I'm originally from Austria, from Vienna. And I've been in Japan for very many years. And I've worked also at Sophia University for a very long time, since 2006. And I'm teaching management. Basically, I'm teaching what to do in a company to make sure the company is making enough money. That's my job. Yeah? And this is a very nice job because I have a lot of students lately who are interested in the topic, and I can see that there's very many people interested in this topic right today as well. So this is a very good thing. But let's have a look at it right from the beginning. What are we going to do today? We will look at the company. What is the company doing? What are management activities? Why is it so important? And why should you learn about this? These are the main questions. Yeah? So let's start with a little comic. Here we can see a comic. You know, when people are not working in companies, they're not always quite sure what actually happens in a company. No? This is not really so easy to understand from the outside. And there is a lot of jokes about it, what managers do. So here we can see that. We can see the boss being very bored in his desk, thinking, okay, what am I going to do today? Yeah? And he says, oh, maybe I should do something that a manager does, some kind of managerial thing. No? I could criticize somebody, I could have a meeting, I could reorganize something. And people around him do not really like that. They think, oh my God, yeah, what's happening now? But this should, of course, not happen. Yeah? In a good company, people have everything, everyone has a task to do. These tasks should be very well organized. And at the end of the day, the company should make what? What is, yes, this is the right answer. Of course, companies should make money. Yeah? We are talking about an organization that is trying to make money. So let's have a look on what the company is doing here. We have different types of companies here. First of all, we have a classic company. A classic company is a profit-oriented organization. It wants to make some profit. Now, we'll talk about profit in a minute. And then we have companies who are not so interested in making money. These companies are called NPOs, or non-profit organizations. Yeah? So, these are companies that are kind of often government-related, yeah, like a hospital, like a high school. They should make money, they should work profitable, but they're not mainly concerned with making money. Huh? But of course, in a business class, we mainly talk about companies that are trying to make money. So this is a very important thing. So how does this work now? Let's have a look at the definition first. We're in a university here, and in a university we work with scientific terms. So here we have something that I found online. Nowadays it's very easy to find definitions. You can just go online and find out everything. That's very good. When I was your age and a student, we always had to go to the library and spend hours in the library finding things, writing them down, taking them home. We didn't even have computers at that time, so this was a lot more difficult. But nowadays it's easy. So I went online and had a look at what the company is about. So here it says, an organization or association formed and organized to carry on a business. That sounds very good. Or an economic system where goods and services are exchanged for one another for money. Every business requires some form of investment and enough customers to whom its output can be sold in order to make a profit. So that sounds a lot better. But we need a good example to learn about how to do this. So let's start with a very simple example. Let's assume we are a company that wants to do furniture or sell furniture. Furniture is not such a difficult project to start with. It's not super exciting, I know that, but still, it's easy to understand for all of us, and that might be a good start. Let's assume we are a company producing tables. Huh? So what kind of tables should we produce? Office tables, kitchen tables, living room tables. What do you think? School tables, desks. Okay, so this is our project. We want to produce desks. Yeah, that sounds like a very reasonable thing, and many people need desks, many people buy desks. Maybe people will buy our desk. That's a good idea. So let's start with the basic things. What do we need to produce a desk? Wood, yes, we have wood here. Yeah. So basically we need materials. This would be wood. What else do we need? Well, let's talk about materials first. Something like this, something we can touch. Wood, anything else?
Plastic.
Plastic, yes, maybe some metals, yeah. Something that we need to assemble, and let's say we have to pay for this. Of course we don't get these materials for free, yeah. We have to pay for these materials and take them back someplace to make a table out of it. So we have the materials ready. What else do we need? Is it enough just to bring the wood back home? Shipping costs, very good. We need logistics, yeah. We need somebody who is actually bringing it to our house, yeah. Basically shipping, or maybe in Japan we have a lot of nice companies doing that. Let's say that costs us another 500 yen. Okay, so still, everything is at home now or in some place. What comes next? It's all raw materials. What do we need to do now? Yes, we needed to assemble this. We have to actually build the table. So we need some human resources. Yeah? Human resources, or people who are actually doing this. Maybe, let's say for one table, we can calculate about another 1,000 yen for human resources. That's not really cheap, but still. Yeah? And finally, is this it? Do we do our table at home? We need a factory, we need a place, yeah? If we do one table, we can do it in the kitchen or somewhere, yeah? But if you want to make 1,000 tables, this is going to be a bit difficult, yeah? So we need a place. Basically, we need a factory, yeah? We need facilities, yeah? And these facilities are expensive too. We need to pay rent, electricity, and so on. So let's say another 500 yen. So altogether, we have spent how much to make one table? 3,000 yen. Yeah? This is, of course, a very high amount, yeah? And we call this amount cost. Okay? So we have spent 3,000 yen to make this table. This is not really cheap, but okay, we can afford that. And we need to put this money up to make sure we can build this table. If we want to build 1,000 table, we have to put much more money in to do this. Yeah, this is called investment. I'm putting some money in and hope I will make more money later. So we have built this table for 1,000 yen now, 3,000 yen now. What comes next? Since we're a business, we're not only doing one table, we're doing many. And what do we want to do with them? Yes, of course. Yeah. So how much do we sell it for? What do you think? What do you suggest?
More than 6,000 yen.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because if we sell it for 3,000 yen, what would happen?
Nothing.
Nothing would happen. In fact, we wouldn't make any money, and at some point we would do what? Go bankrupt. Yeah? We have to make some money at some point. Okay, so what would be a good price for a desk? Something like this.
10,000.
10,000? Okay. Do you think this is a reasonable price? Who would buy a desk for 10,000? Please raise your hand.
I will.
One person, two people, okay. Any more? What about 8,000 yen? Who would buy it for 8,000 yen? Okay. 7,000 yen. 6,000 yen. Some more. How about 5,000 yen? Yes, 5,000 yen seems to be a reasonable price. Yeah? So we have a price. This is 5,000 yen. And should be, of course, more than the money we spent building it, because otherwise it doesn't make sense to build it anyway. Yeah, might as well sit at home and have a cup of coffee instead. Yeah, you want to make some money as a company, so we have the price here. We hopefully get 5,000 yen for it. We have to deduct cost from this price. Yeah, and at the end we have 2,000 yen left over. Ta-da! So this is the money we earned. This is the profit. Okay? So this is what a company is trying to do. A company is trying to create some profit and earn some money with it. Can we keep all this money, all this 2,000 yen, this whole amount? Yes or no? No, why not?
We should make a more and more.
Yes, basically we can use this money to buy more materials and make more tables, but we cannot keep all the money. Why not? Yes, the tax office will take some money. Let's say the tax office takes 400 yen out of this. Probably it's more in Japan, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so 400 yen are gone. And finally, we have made 1,600 yen from one table that we can keep. This is our net profit, our profit after tax. So this sounds like a reasonable business. Yeah? And to make more money, what can we do if we want to increase this profit? What are good ideas to increase this profit? What do you think?
Try to make something new.
Yes, you can make another table. You can make a more expensive one to have more profit. Or another option would be?
Advertisement.
I beg your pardon? Yes, you try to sell more, you push people to buy. You could also try to sell very many, yeah, to increase your profit, okay? But it is very important that the company is making a profit. If the company is not making a profit, at some point it will go down, it will go bankrupt and has to be liquidated. And of course we don't want that. So when we study about business, we try to organize all processes to make sure there's always a profit. Yeah? So we have to look at all aspects of the company in business studies and also look at the market, trying to make sure that we can continuously make a good profit. So let's try to have a look at these processes. Here is an overview. Yeah? I've put another example up here, a little bit more, a product that is a bit more complicated. Yeah? This product is an iPad. Yeah, probably some of you own it. A table is a simple product. Yeah? Probably all of us can build it. Well, I tried it last year to buy a kitchen table that I assembled myself. Took me a whole day. It's not really something I'm very good at, but still it's doable. Okay? And then we have other products that are a little bit more complicated. So we have a very good idea to create a new product. We think many people will like it. And then we have to organize everything in a company to make sure the product is being produced, the product is being brought to the customer, the product is being sold, and in the end, making some profit. So we will now have a look at all these processes. So our idea here is a little bit more sophisticated than a table. It's an iPad, a tablet computer that we can use anywhere. It's a very convenient product. So this is the idea. Of course, this idea is not my idea. Yeah, it's somebody else's idea, and it's a very successful idea. But this is a product that many people like to buy. Yeah. However, it's a complicated product. Yeah. You cannot build it within, let's say, 1 or 2 hours. Probably you need a lot of processes to do this, and this needs to be organized in a very well way. Yeah, in a very good way. Sorry. Anyway, what you want as a company is to make sure that costs are always very low. Yeah? Costs should always be very low, because what happens if costs are low? Do you make more money or less money?
Less money.
No, you make more money. If the price is the same and the costs go down, then you of course have a higher profit. Yeah? So a company will always try to have very low costs, especially in production, to make sure the profit is higher. Japanese companies, by the way, are very good at this. Yeah? Very famous for it. Most famous company in the field here would be Toyota. Toyota at some point could actually develop cars and produce cars for half the cost than other companies in other countries. Yeah? So this was really is still a very well organized company, and the idea is to get all the processes organized in a way that the cost is very low, which means that the company can make more money. Yeah? And this is what we call good management. So here we have some more ideas. This is the product that we were trying to build. And to make sure that we can do this, first of all, we need people. Yeah? Of course, a company is mainly consisting of people. It's a social system. Yeah? If there's no people in a company, it would basically just be an empty house. Yeah? Nothing really interesting. But people are very difficult to manage. Yeah? First of all, they have a lot of ideas of what they want to do. Yeah? They must be taken care of very carefully. They must be trained. Yeah? They must be supported in what they want to do. And finally, of course, they must be paid also. Yeah? So as a company, we need to take care of human resources or people working in the company very carefully. That's our first job. Yeah? We also have to find enough people who can actually do all this work together. So what does this mean? Basically, we want to find people who have the right ability. If we want to build tables in our factory, what kind of people should we hire?
Carpenters.
Carpenters, yes, of course, people who need to know or do know how to deal with wood, who know how to make a table. That's really quite important. If we want to make a technical product or a car, what kind of people do we need? Engineers, yes. So we need to find people who have the right ability, and these people should be motivated. They should really like working. Yeah? They should like doing this job. They should feel, oh, this is a good company. I really like being here. Yeah? And finally, we have to provide good working conditions, which means things must work properly. People must get paid well. People must have a good computer. They should have a really good desk. Yeah? They should feel comfortable in what they're doing. And this comes at the end, if we combine all these aspects, so-called performance. Performance means that people do something. They create an output. Yeah? So if this is your own company, you would probably, let's say, pay people a salary. Let's assume you pay people 200,000 yen a month, and you want to make sure that for this 200,000 yen, people work as much as possible. Yeah, so they perform really well. And to do this, we need leadership. We have to guide people in trying to reach their goals. Yeah. So basically, what leadership means that you can influence other people's behavior to support the company's goals. And this is where our questionnaire comes in. Here it is. Yeah, have you all filled it in? Yes. So we have two types of leadership here. We have autocratic leadership and democratic leadership. Yeah? Democratic leadership basically means that you are involving everyone else in your decision making. Yeah? You do not say, I know everything. I ask people around me in the group, what do you think? Yeah? What should we do? Maybe we can make this decision together. Yeah? For example, if you want to design a new table, it might be a good idea to say, I'm asking everyone, what should be a table? What should the table look like? Yeah? What is a good, nice shape for a table? What materials should we use? Yeah? On the other hand, we have autocratic leadership, which means that only one person is deciding. Yeah? This one person is actually saying, I know everything, and I tell others what to do. Yeah? So this sounds a bit harsh. In fact, it isn't. It's really depending on the situation whether we use autocratic or democratic leadership. There are many situations when we need fast decisions, and then it's better to use autocratic leadership style. Yeah? In some cases, when many people are involved, it may be better to just ask everyone before. So let's have a look at your leadership style now. Yeah? If you have more than 25 points, you're an autocratic leader. Yeah? Who has more than 25 points? Please raise your hand. Okay, so we can see a lot of autocratic leaders here. Who has less than 25 points? Democratic leaders. Raise your hands, please. Only one? What about the rest? Okay, so the difference is, what kind of leadership style do you prefer? Yeah? So depending on the situation, and this is what good management is also about, you should also be able to switch, yeah? And saying, okay, sometimes it's better to involve everyone in the decision, and sometimes it's better just to make a decision on your own. So, but let's move on into our next business area. The next business area is production. Production means the product is being produced. Basically, the product is being produced in a factory. We have to spend a lot of money on this production, and we want to make sure it's working really well. Yeah? It should be cost effective, meaning not too expensive, but also provide very high quality. Yeah? So here we have a definition of production. The design, development and maintenance of systems that transform resources, raw materials, technology and labor into goods and services to meet customers' needs. Yeah? The idea here is that you're trying to produce something at the best possible way, in the best possible way, to make sure that customers are safe, the product should be safe and high quality, and at the same time the product should, of course, be produced in a cost-effective way. So here we can see how this works. Basically, we have a product or service idea, and in the end, we do, or before that, we do a feasibility study. A feasibility study means that, in fact, you're trying to find out whether the product will be successful in the market. Yeah? You ask the customers and say, look, here we have a new table. Do you like that? Do you like the shape? Do you like the color? And so on. And then you design the table properly. You also need to design the production style. Yeah? How do you produce things? And how do you actually organize the factory to make sure this can be done? This is a very difficult job. Yeah? Some companies have very, very intensive production processes. For example, if you build a car, it takes 18 hours and you have to assemble more than 5,000 pieces. So you need to do this very carefully and really know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's going to be rather difficult. And finally, you have produced new materials and products and you're ready to sell them. Yeah? So this is a very complicated process, but in the next step, we have a look at the market. Yeah? Oh, I forgot one thing, information systems. Yeah? To organize the factories and everything else, we have to use, of course, computers. Nowadays, this is all really well organized. There's very big computer systems that connect everything in the company, and to make sure that you know what's going on, you just have to push some buttons and you see how many pieces were produced, how much did it cost, how much did we pay these people, how much money came into the company today, how much money does the company own. So this is really very exciting. Yeah? 20 years ago, everything needed to be done by hand, so this was rather complicated. But of course, nowadays, you can use all kinds of information systems. What is very important here is that all the information is connected and is kind of presented to people who make decisions, the managers. They have to look at all the numbers and then decide what to do. Yeah? In a factory, this is rather important because you want to make sure that the factory is constantly working. Yeah? Many factories work 24 hours a day, so you have to make sure there is no one or there's no missing time. Yeah? If you have not enough customers, you have to find more customers to make sure that the machines are always running. Yeah? So here you can see that we have data coming into the computer system. Basically, we put in all the information, how much money was being made, how much money came in, how many pieces did we produce, how many materials did we use. You process this in the system, and in the end, you have reports and documents that help the managers to make good decisions. Yeah? So if the manager, for example, sees that some product is very popular and many people buy it, it might be a good idea to produce more pieces of that very product. Huh? So, and then we have our next step. This is logistics, as we heard before. Logistics is also very important. First of all, it's expensive, yeah, and it is necessary to bring the products very quickly to the customer. Yeah? If we have a product like a table or an iPad, it doesn't matter whether it takes 1 or 2 days maybe. Yeah? It's not so important. But sometimes we have products that need to be delivered very, very quickly. For example, food. Yeah? Or something that is frozen or so. You need to be very careful about logistics. Yeah? So logistics means that you are actually bringing the product, you're packaging the product, and you kind of deliver it to the market. And the market means these are people that are actually buying the product here. So here we can see an overview. Logistics plays a very important role in the factory and in the production process. First of all, we have raw materials that are being brought to different kind of companies that provide parts for the factory. So this is our factory, but then we have companies that support the factory. For example, a company that is producing nails, yeah, or that is producing other kind of electric devices. In a car factory, we would have companies producing tires, just to support our production process here. But before that, the car company or the tire company, for example, needs rubber or steel or whatever to produce the tires. After this, these products are being, these product parts, we can call them product parts, are being brought to the factory, and in the factory, the final product is being produced. Yeah? This is a rather complicated process. In some factories, as we said, it takes almost a day to produce a product. But once the product is actually finished, we basically ask somebody, some company, to take care of these products. Yeah? This company is called a wholesaler. A wholesaler is basically collecting all the products and then providing them into different places all over the country. Yeah? When we think of some products that are really everywhere, for example, soft drinks, yeah, or water, or, I don't know, food products that we can buy in every convenience shop, you have to think about how complicated this is. Just to make sure that every convenience store in Japan gets water bottles of the same company or a soft drink of a certain company is a really, really, really complicated thing to organize. Yeah? So in this case, we also use computer programs. Yeah? And we have very sophisticated computer programs that know exactly where every product is and where it was sold and where it was transported. So, and finally, we talk about the market. The market are people who are buying products. This is a very weak point of business, because here we have very little control. Yeah? We are in the company here, and the company is our company, so we can take care of everything ourselves. If things are not working really well and we realize this, we can change them. Yeah? And then we want to sell to people, but the people are outside the company, so sometimes we do not have the same type of control. We have to make sure that people are actually interested in buying our products. Yeah? So we do this by marketing. We take care of people who are in the market, and we want to make sure that they buy. So here we can see another definition. Basically, marketing is an organizational function, a set of processes for creating, communicating, and delivering value to consumers. This means that by selling the product, consumers who buy it have a benefit. Yeah? So you sell a car, and the consumer who is actually buying a car is having some benefit. He or she can ride the car, have a good time, enjoy the feeling. Yeah? And as a company, we need to know exactly how people buy and why they buy. Because if we know that, we can sell even more. And nowadays, there's so many companies doing the same thing that we really need to make sure that people buy. Yeah? When I was in business school many years ago, marketing was not seen as such an important function. Yeah? But nowadays, this has really changed. Yeah? Marketing is the place where the company meets the people or meets the market, and companies need to be extremely careful about this. So here we can see different ideas of marketing. You can go into a magazine and basically tell some stories so the consumers feel very comfortable about it. You can go and have billboards. You can go actually have companies write about you. Any kinds of things are very important. Classically, the company would try to get in contact with consumers as often as possible. But nowadays, we also have modern forms of marketing that you may know, yeah? Using Facebook and Line, yeah? And, for example, new on to Instagram. Instagram is extremely successful in doing this because you can show a lot of pictures, or Twitter. Yeah? And the idea here is to make sure that many people can see information about the product. Yeah? Nowadays, we almost get too much information. Yeah? We get information without end about any product, and this can be rather stressful because we get so much different information that it makes it very difficult to actually buy something in the end. But in general, marketing is very important to make sure that consumers are actually knowing what they buy and that consumers are having a good image of the company, even if they don't buy now, that in the future they can do so. Okay? So, and then we have the final step here. Yeah? The final step is the so-called control step. Control means what? When do we need to control something? Why do we need to control something? What do you think? Can we just work and then never find out how much money we made? No. No? So at the end basically we check what happened in the company. How much money did we make? How successful was the company? Did we actually manage to be in this profit range? Did we make a profit at all? So all these kind of things need to be checked. Yeah? And in fact, we have a lot of data to take care of this. First of all, financial data. Yeah? We look at how many iPads were sold, so we can see this is the original file. It started very quickly, sales went up very, very quickly, and in the end, many people really bought the product. Yeah? After a while, sales will not continue to rise anymore. Yeah? Maybe after a few years. And at that time, the company needs to think about whether it should take the product out of the portfolio or not. Yeah? So, and these are all the management functions. Basically, the idea here is that we have a product, we have a good idea, we produce the product in a company by the help of people and using information systems to support this. We go into the market, try to make consumers buy this product, and finally, we control the financial aspects. We make sure that we have made the money we want to make, and in case we didn't, we are going to change something in our management processes to do so. So when we learn about management, in fact, what we do here is we try to find out how can we make these processes more efficient. How can we work as efficient as possible to make as much profit as possible, and how can we avoid big mistakes. So it's very important to learn these things in university before entering a firm. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions, then please come to the front and talk to me. Thank you.